1, 2. Everybody hold that, and awesome, thank you. This has been such an amazing event. So many incredibly inspiring and uplifting speeches. So now let's talk about Nazis. When Adolf Hitler first rose to power on a wave of anti-Semitism, excoriating Jews, gays, gypsies, and other minorities, most did not believe that Hitler would carry out the horrifying purges against these groups he spoke so enthusiastically about after he became chancellor. They believed it was merely campaign rhetoric and that more reasoned, rational thought would prevail once Hitler was in office and entrusted with public responsibilities. But later, when Hitler plunged Germany and all of Europe into the darkest era ever known in the modern times, no one could honestly feign surprise, because after all, Hitler only did exactly what he had told everyone years earlier that he intended to do. So when Donald Trump and his merry gang of homophobes, Islamophobes, anti-Semites, xenophobes, and misogynists tell us that they aim to register and rid our nation of Muslims, build a wall and create a deportation force, take away our right to choose and make decisions about our own bodies, and to overturn marriage equality and retract protections for our LGBT citizens, I think we damn well ought to believe him. Do you know, by the way, that literally within seconds of the swearing-in ceremony yesterday, the government websites for civil rights, women's rights, and LGBT rights were erased and immediately. He would like to render all of us invisible, but let me tell you, it is not going to happen. So let me talk for a minute about LGBT rights. LGBT people have no protections of any kind under the law in the state of Michigan. It's illegal to fire someone for being gay or trans, to deny them education or housing, to deny them the opportunity to eat at a restaurant or shop at a grocery store. It's even legal here to deny LGBT people and their children medical care. It's legal for all state-funded adoption agencies to refuse to work with same-sex couples or with gay or trans individuals. And even though LGBT people are the most likely minority group to be targeted for hate crimes, sexual orientation and gender identity are specifically excluded from the Ethnic Intimidation Act, which is our hate crime law in Michigan. Right. And let me tell you all, nothing good is on the horizon for LGBT people from our supermajority red legislature or our state appellate courts, where there are double the number of Republican judges over Democratic ones. LGBT people have no statutory federal protections at all. The only federal protections that were ever provided to LGBT people were done so by President Obama. Yes. By virtue of his executive orders and from the Department of Justice, the Civil Rights Department under President Obama. Mike Pence has promised that as of Monday morning, every advancement made by the Obama administration is to be eradicated. So that leaves us with only one place to turn: the United States Supreme Court. There are 4 Supreme Court decisions which form the basis of all LGBT rights for people who live in states such as ours with no state protections. All of them came in the last 20 years. All of them were authored by Justice Anthony Kennedy. They were Romer, Lawrence, Windsor, and Obergefell, otherwise known as DeBoer v. Snyder. Romer stood for the proposition that LGBT people were not to be specifically excluded as a class from any and all protections. Lawrence gave us the right to engage in intimate acts with a person of the same gender. And Windsor and Obergefell stood for the proposition that marriage should be open to all people. But what did these cases all have in common? Well, they had Justices Stephen Breyer, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and Anthony Kennedy. Now we know that Scalia will be replaced with a younger version of himself soon, and that all that will be standing between a total and complete reversal of each and every one of these cases are these three justices. Justice Ginsburg is 83. Justice Kennedy is 80. Stephen Breyer is 78. And that means that if even one of these justices does not last at least 2, more likely 4 years, the Republicans have pledged to reverse each of these historic cases. And each and every one of the potential nominees that Trump has listed to be nominated to the Supreme Court agrees with that premise. And right-wing hate groups such as the National Organization for Marriage and the Heritage Foundation have vowed to make certain that these cases are refiled. The sodomy laws in Article 25 of the Michigan Constitution, or the Michigan Marriage Act, are both still on the books here in Michigan. A single case could overrule each of these historic decisions and literally make being gay a crime in the state of Michigan. So when Trump promised the evangelicals during his campaign that he would roll back each and every right or protection that LGBT people have, I think we ought to believe him. Just as when Trump vowed to overturn Roe v. Wade and other protections for women related to reproductive rights, equal pay, sexual and domestic assault prevention and prosecution laws, I think we ought to believe him. And as a result of all the hysteria from all the angry homo and transphobic rhetoric from Trump's campaign, we have seen an exponential rise in felony assaults and murders against this population more than ever before. But I am here to tell you all that there is something that we, all of us, can do about it. We don't have to stand for this, and my organization, Fair Michigan, is trying to do something about it. Yeah. In just June of last year, we created the Fair Michigan Justice Project, the nation's first LGBT hate crimes task force, where we have an entire team of people dedicated to combat hate crimes. Special prosecutor, and special investigator, trans liaison, and a victim's rights advocate, and a licensed therapist. And in only the last 6 months, we've amassed 17 cases, all murders or capital offenses, rape, serious assaults against the LGBT community. And I'm proud to say that just in the last couple months alone, we've wrapped up half a dozen convictions against defendants who have perpetrated horrific crimes against the gay and trans communities. You can visit all of those perpetrators now in the Michigan Department of Corrections. Fair Michigan also has in the works what will be the most extensive program in the state to provide legal assistance to domestic violence victims who desperately need personal protection orders. And this program will assist thousands of battered women seeking protection against violent partners. Lastly, and most importantly, I offer all of you this. We plan to reintroduce the Fair Michigan ballot proposal for 2018. Now, this proposal would amend Article 1, Section 2 of the Michigan Constitution to include gender, gender identity, sex, and sexual orientation. We would be the first state in the nation to offer constitutional protections to the LGBT population. automatically amend Elliott Larson, automatically amend the hate crime statute, and it would preserve the rights of intimate acts, marriage equality, and adoption for same-sex couples. We would go overnight from having among the worst laws of any state in the country for LGBT people to having the very best. We would also be the 25th state in the country to provide constitutional rights to women. So move over, Kansas and Wyoming, because your exclusive club is about to get a little more crowded. That'll mean adding securities on issues of gender discrimination, reproductive rights, and equal pay as the state and federal legislatures and the high courts in Lansing and in D.C. are stripping our rights away. It'll allow a vote of the people of our state to protect us from the things that our legislature and our courts will not. So I ask all of you, please come help us at Fair Michigan. Help us fight hate crimes, help us fight domestic violence, and help us create constitutional rights for everyone in this state. And yes, we should believe Donald Trump and the Republicans when they say they intend to strip women and LGBT people of their rights, but they should believe us when we say that we are fighting back. And I have a message for you, Donald Trump and Mike Pence. Let me tell you something. You can pry my wedding band from my cold, dead, gay hand. Because I've gained a little bit of weight since my wedding, and also I'm retaining a lot of water right now. So, to paraphrase the words of Naomi Schulman, nice people make the best Nazis. They got along, refused to make waves, looked the other way when things got ugly. They were lovely people who turned their heads as their neighbors were dragged away. You know who weren't nice people? Resistors. We cannot and we will not be enablers of this madness. We can be and we must be the beacon of light and hope and freedom in this land of gathering darkness. And we will never know how strong we can be until now, when strong is the only choice we have. So let me ask you all, what do we want? Equal rights! Yes, equal rights! What do we want? Equal rights! When do we want it? Now! Close, 2018. 2018, that's kind of the earliest feasible time, but still. In 2018, let's elect progressive women to our state offices.